intersection of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight.
Great. Well, I think I could do a lot of things great. Biggest win in 2024 was transitioning into a new space, that being, on the investment side, and getting some traction there, doing a lot of 1031 transactions, advising a lot on that. So if you have questions about 1031s, reach out, Mark Lawrence. The title company's Worldwide Land, and that's my story.
These next two guys, for everyone old in this room like myself, they were 3 years old when I started doing mortgages. So these next two young bucks, just aged everybody. Go ahead.
My name is Andrew Lumbach. I'm a realtor in the Jersey Shore, Ocean County.
How old?
20. So 2 years, been doing it since I graduated high school. My biggest win was closing my first off-market deal this year.
That was weak as shit, guys. Go ahead.
I'm his neighbor, actually. I come up to his house with a rock, pretty much. I'm also in the same area, so I'm also 20 years old. Been in the business right out of high school, so about 2 years. And my biggest win of the year was probably having the opportunity to come here over and over again.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, seriously. 100%.
We won't clap for that. Anyone? Ms. Pensa, who I've known for 11 years now. Shit.
I'm a realtor in New York City, mainly servicing Manhattan and Brooklyn. Represent value-added investments, private investors, which is of course getting a little more challenging these days, and also landlords. This year, my biggest win was converting a off-market open portfolio to an exclusive 8-building portfolio for sale, and still navigating how this new landscape in New York City and the new rent laws are changing implications for investors. So that's what we're going through now.
Good morning, everybody. Ben Joannis here. I am an investor. Wear a lot of hats. Investor primarily, and also lender. And I guess from the Jersey area, live in Montclair. The biggest win this year is, I don't know if it's still early.
Launching your own brokerage, didn't you?
Sorry?
Didn't you launch your own brokerage?
Yes, I did. RBG Capital, thank you. Still it's in infancy, but it's growing pretty fast, which is great. I'm hiring some staff and stuff, so it's going very well. Aside of that, those are great.
Hector?
Appreciate being here, man. Thank you.
So Hector Guerrero, fellow construction, been in the business since family about 34 years, doing my own 11. Pretty primarily Essex County, Hudson County market. We build out the ground level construction and dibble and dabble a little bit in real estate and finance.
Biggest win 2024, completing that big building.
17 units currently finishing in Bloomfield.
Mr. Moore?
Good morning, everyone. I actually lost my voice as a coach on the weekends. Kids AAU, so excuse the hoarseness. But Andrew Moore, I'm with Build Sotheby's International Realty. I've been a realtor for over 12 years now. I've met Jeff when I first started. That was
2014? 12?
12, 11 maybe. I can't keep up. But happy to be here. I'll say my biggest win to date is probably increasing my DCI by 460% over the last year. Just pretty much focusing more on the sales side, and really expanding my territory. I do live upstate in Orange County, but you need to be available in certain ways and building out a team structure that allows me to have more free time and being able to increase my productivity. So I would say my biggest one would probably be increasing that and realizing that from last year.
Thanks for the invite. My name is Victor Liu. One of the owners of Clear Skies Title Agency based in Jersey and Houston, Pennsylvania. Biggest win for this year is probably, I've been in the title real estate industry for about 17 years now. Biggest win is probably opening up an indoor golf simulator down in the Princeton area. So kind of stepping outside the traditional real estate market.
Isn't there a title in golf somehow? Title?
We're gonna do closings to figure that out.
Titleist? Titleist maybe? I don't know. Titleist? Hey now.
We'll figure that out.
All right.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Put some things together, yeah.
Our official guests.
Yeah, hi,
Hi, my name is Leila Horvat. I'm working with Daniel as a product manager on non-links. So I had nothing to do with the real estate until 6 months ago.
Now she's an expert.
Since I'm an expert. No, but really I'm learning a lot about it through non-links and of course also discovering reverifi. Basically, I was studying innovation and management, so that's how I'm contributing to this project, creating non-links.
Biggest win for 2024.
I also,
Being in New York City.
yeah, one of them. But basically, I also started working with Daniel more than a year ago. So I think this year I got super autonomous in my projects, and I'm leading and owning my projects very well. That's what my biggest win would be.
Hello everyone, so I'm Daniel. I usually introduce myself as an entrepreneur. Everything I've done in my professional life was building my own companies. I've built 9 companies so far. So Altar is the reason why I'm here, and through Altar. So basically we build products for startups all over the world. And this year I've achieved my 100th startup that we launched. So it was a big number, and I think that would be the greatest achievement for 24.
When I first was interviewing new developers and tech team, I spoke to Daniel. I'm like, hey, I got this idea. We have to change like lending. And he looked at me, he laughed. I'm like, it's so funny. He's like, that's easy. I'm like, easy? You're hired, you know? Like, you want to change the world? He like laughed at me how easy like, you know, setting up AI was. So I think the biggest win for me is like being able to host these events and like reconnecting with people for all the years that we've been in business for. New friends, old friends. Sometimes we weren't friends. I think bringing it all together in different seasons and cycles of life. I think this next cycle of life that we're going to be in is going to be like the most prosperous ever. And I'm just looking forward to doing it with all you guys.
Cool. Brett Sikora, I've known Jeff since
2014.
2014.
I gave him Devil's tickets.
Yeah,
That's the only reason.
He got me to see DMX in a suite
Before he died.
Away. So another pretty cool.
It's one of the perks of being friends.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been in real estate since 2007. I got in at 21 when I was younger, like you guys on the brokerage side. We're in New Jersey. We're a large sales team.
By large, he means $500 million a year?
Yeah.
More?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we close about 40 or 50 million a month right now. We're in 7 states with 6 offices. And I think the biggest win that I have right now is we were talking about, I think the idea of brokerage is dead.
It's not being married and having 2 kids?
That happened a couple years ago. Getting a discount ring. Wholesale diamond ring. But no, we really developed a really good infrastructure that leads with the agent and leads with the real estate teams and brokerages and is a really good support system. So that happened this year, that full turnover to really rock it and scale. So, yeah.
GQ?
I'm David Goldoff. My company is Camelot. We've been around since 2006. I'm in 2 fields. I'm an owner-operator of multifamily, and I have a third-party management business in small brokerage. We've been around Manhattan. We cover pretty much the 5 boroughs and a little bit of Jersey. I think my biggest win was
Meeting me. I'm kidding. That was last year.
with this guy. We turned out that his office is right across the street from my office, so not too far to get here on time. And just growth, going out to a lot of industry events and seeing, faces I hadn't seen in a while and networking more. I think that everyone has that entrepreneurial spirit that they want to get back out there and meet people and grow and scale. So.
And David's humble, but they manage over 150 properties here in Manhattan.
I
So
sweat my hair from it. Yeah, but happy to meet everybody.
Thank you for the invite, Sunflower Duran. Been doing title for about 7 years now. We are in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Florida, and we do 1031 exchanges in all 50 states. I also have my realtor license, and the biggest win for me in 2024 has been expanding my title business, increasingly every year. So that's it. Thank you.
I'm Scott Cowan. I'm a licensed real estate agent broker. I'm licensed in Florida, New York, and New Jersey. I've got transactions currently pending in all 3 states. I'm a single agent, so I kind of move around.
been married 3 times. What else? That's a win, dude.
That's Get me back on track. So I think my biggest win was changing my blend of residential and commercial. I was doing probably 80 to 90% residential with 10 to 20% commercial, and I was able to shift that in 2024 to being 80 to 90% commercial with 10 to 20% residential. So I think that was my big
Huge.
win to get my GCI.
Perfect timing.
Kevin Hollenbeck, I'm a lender out of a suburb of north of Philadelphia called the Horsham area. Been doing this the first 30 years of my career. I was a cookie salesman working for Nabisco. Then retired, and somebody got me in this crazy world, and so I've been doing mortgages kind of off and on for about 14 years now. On a big wins on a personal side, my daughter was just involved in a Project Innocent case where a man that was wrongfully jailed for 27 years, they got him free this year. So that was really cool. And on the professional side, professional side, I made my first small investment in a startup that I hope will do very well.
What's the name of it?
Loan links.
Hello everyone, Amanda Alvarez, now De Silva. I've been in real estate since I was 19. Brett was my first real estate agent, and we went to high school together. This year, my biggest wins, personally, I got married in Portugal. That was a big win. Professionally, I work with a lot of builders. I'm an investor myself, but most of my work right now is working with builders, and we have 30 million in locked up listings for next year already. So pre-construction listings, so it's exciting.
Huge.
2025 will be good.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Steve Amaya, agent, broker, and managing partner of United Real Estate. I've been in the business now for 10 years. And my biggest win this year, aside from being a present father to a wonderful 1.5-year-old, is taking a few newer agents under my wing and getting them to produce in this market, giving them hope that, that this is still a very fruitful business if you put in the work.
Carson Alexander. I am a real estate agent. Do residential commercial sales in Brooklyn. My biggest win this year, aside from just learning these guys have a golf simulator, is I work with my wife, and we went on 2 international vacations this year.
Nice.
So
Very cool.
We'll keep doing that.
Love it. Victor Squared?
Yes, I'm the other Victor, co-owner of Clear Skies Title. Biggest win this year is we've kind of taken a leap and personally pivoted my business to commercial as a focus. It seems I found a niche there, and we're really excited about that.
How you doing, everyone? My name's Vincent Kabiba.
It's JJ's uncle for everyone that's questioning.
I was in a corporate world for about 17 years, left that about 6 years ago, started a couple companies, and I have never received DMX tickets from Jeff.
He's dead, dude. He's not here anymore.
Listen, I'm just
saying.
He's still going.
Yeah. My biggest win is for this year, my wife and I launched our second nail salon, which is about 3 to 4 times larger than our first one that we launched 2 years ago. So.
Dr. Chuck, you can just go right into your kickoff speech, baby.
Well, we have another gentleman that came in.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. Looks like a fantastic people that are here. I tried to register. However, I was late, and I took a leap of faith that just pop up.
I love that. Oh my God, you got balls, man. I love it.
My name is Stefan Galichip. I am like you. I'm still in the corporate. I'm a CPA. I'm a real estate agent as well. My biggest win, I think one of my life, I can say, just approved by DOB at 4-family house in downtown Brooklyn by Navy Yard. It was hell of a last 3 years. We took a story to go to, but I have to tell you this. We took a 2-family knockdown, built a 4-family. It was a hell of an experience. Right now, if you ask me, never again.
PTSD. We have Dr. Morris who will help you with that. He takes care of PTSD.
So
meet one of the most important men in my life.
Am I green lighted to go?
You're green lighted, Doc.
All right. So my name is Dr. Chuck Morris, not Norris. Saw some of y'all look at the paper and do this. Now you're disappointed. Get over it. So here's the deal. I'm going to hit 5 quick points. The objective is to help you, it's a warm-up, right? So before you do any major events, you have to warm up. Now, if it was a physical event, you would get sweaty. Well, it's a mental event, so your head might hurt a little bit. But I think it's fair. Anytime somebody stands in front of you and gives you information, especially in the US, you want to know why. Why should I listen? Why is it relevant? How could they possibly know more than me? So, for that purpose only, here's a really, really high level of the rap sheet. Here it is, real quick. I focus on human performance and optimization for 3 decades, full-time, nothing else. We don't do anything else. I was a health and fitness coach in the entire city of Philadelphia, 22 MVPs, 3 gold medalists, a bunch of Grammy people. My PhD is in exercise science. I focus on functional neuroscience. Around the world, sought after to teach emotional intelligence, human performance, optimization of the brain, blah, 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 yakety smackety. By default, I know more about this space than you do. That's all that really matters. So, now, I'm going to do some things. I'm going to give you 5 really, really quick points that are super cool. You're going to love them. And the objective is to warm you up, to dismantle some things, to put us in a better space for what's about to happen in today's events. So, here we go. No, we can't start. Okay, yeah, okay, there. We'll start there. Here's a relevant thing. Your brain presents information to you. Your brain and your nervous system processes more information than you can consciously be aware of. Way more data. What it does is it then presents that information to you as fact. Then you get to decide if the fact is true. A lot of times we assume the fact is the truth. That's not the case. Your brain and your nervous system presents you data. But then your conscious mind and your will gets to decide if it is a fact. And if that fact now then can become true. Now, who's ever heard we don't use 100% of our brain? Right. And if we could somehow magically use whole 100%, we would change humanity, right? Okay, it's a lie. You use 100% of your brain at all times. It is a rumor that makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Okay, you use all of your brain all the time. It was said a long time ago in a book, it turned into a movie, and it's getting bad, y'all. Here's the problem with that. If you do believe you don't use all of it, then you will believe there's some missing link that if you could do, then you could do. But because I can't, then I can't. And if I believe I can't, then I won't. And if I believe I can't, I decide that I won't, then there's no reason to even try it. That's the danger of that lie. So you use 100% of your brain at all times. What is accurate is how aware you are of what your brain is doing. That's the sweet spot. So, okay, 3 of y'all don't believe me. I'm gonna make it easy. I'm not gonna point nobody out. Here you go. Ooh, beautiful. Every time I try to work with somebody, it goes bad. Every time I try to work with somebody, it goes bad. Possibly you may have said, you don't have to put your hand up. You may have said that. Here's an interesting phenomenon. We like to call it negative bias. So a negative bias means you decided that to focus more on the negative, which is a preset human feature. If I decide to focus on what's negative, then my brain lines up all information to meet that negative bias. So when you say, every time I try to deal with this title agent, every time I deal with whomever it is, it always goes bad. Your brain then focuses on that negative thing more. It pushes away the positive experiences and it heightens the negative. So it makes what you say to be true, true. So they're not really horrible. You're just looking at it the wrong way. Okay, you don't believe me. How about, here's another cool one. You go inside the kitchen, somebody you love you says, hey, look inside the refrigerator, give me the ketchup. You go inside the refrigerator, I don't see the ketchup. It's in there. I don't see the ketchup. Oh my God, baby. It's in there. Second shelf, middle. I don't see the ketchup. They walk in, grab the ketchup, usually with an attitude, that's right in front of you, and walk away. Has that ever happened to anybody?
Were you in my kitchen this morning?
Cross-border by AI. So That is an actual phenomenon. What happens, your brain lines up with your conscious thought. You've decided that you can't see the ketchup, and the ketchup isn't there. Your brain then is called a phantom, and it blows the ketchup away. The ketchup is there, but you can no longer see it. It's sitting right there, but your brain says it's not important because your brain doesn't want you to be a liar. So it's presenting information to you that lines up with what you think. Every time I deal with that title company, it goes bad. Every time we look at the newspaper, it goes, and then you begin to, you can no longer see what's really there because your brain, your nervous system is going to keep up with you. Two phenomena. I'm gonna give you a third one. I see y'all getting excited. Ooh, here's a good one. Confirmation will come in alignment. So it will shift reality to confirm what you believe to be true. When you read the article in the newspaper and it tells you what the rates are, when they tell you how the industry is going, when you wake up and look in the mirror and say, I'm not going to win today, your entire reality shifts to match that. Again, that's just your brain and your nervous system offering you information that you have to decide if that fact is true or not. Got a red car, brand new red car. You see red cars everywhere now. You see the red Mustang everywhere you go. This is like magic. Everybody got the same car I have. But do they? No, it's a trick. You've decided that that is important and relevant to you. So your brain looks for it. It finds it and it pushes away other information because it's no longer relevant. Because what's relevant to you is a new red car because you have a personal, emotional attachment to the new red car. And the new red car is positive. So all cars are irrelevant except the red cars. So you all of a sudden see the same red car that you have because it's important to you. Here's the last one. I want you guys to give me, not 100%, because that's not enough. I want you to give me 110%. Who's willing to give me 110%? Anybody? You feel like it's a trick? It's not a trick. Good, it is a trick. You fell for it. There is no such animal. There is no such animal as 110%. There is only 100%. There is no more. So don't go into another meeting and say, I want y'all to give me 110%. Talking crazy. It doesn't make sense. Here's the problem. If you say, I'm going to give 110%, your brain knows that it's not true. Your brain knows that it's not possible. So you begin to get a negative or cognitive dissonance to yourself. You're attempting to accomplish something that you know is impossible. And it creates the foundation of anxiety. It creates the foundation of depression because you're lying to yourself. This is why affirmations don't work when done incorrectly. I know, I felt two of y'all. Affirmations are cool. It's big in Europe. They don't work. That's how I get away with everything. I can say it's big in Europe. I never say it's big in Portugal, and I'm glad I don't because now they're here. Here's why affirmations don't work. If you say something that you know is not true, your system responds. So I cannot say, I'm the best loan officer in the world. I can't say I'm the best loan officer in New York. No matter how much I stare in the mirror and say that. I'm creating stress inside of myself. The effective affirmation is, I am not as good as I can be. I will become better. That is appropriate. That's not a lie. So what you're saying to yourself dictates your reality. We do this with high net worth individuals, superstars, all kinds. You don't even want to know who. We try to keep it very private. But I came here today to shake you up a little bit, to help you understand that when you're going through today, you have to pull back from the table in your mind. You have to push away All the negative things that are telling you that what you're thinking and what you're seeing can't happen because it's never been done before. It's only never been done before because you didn't do it yet. Period. So if you say something like, I'm not a night person, or I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert. I'm not going to make you put your hands up because now you're nervous. You can say things about yourself that just aren't true. I'm not going to point nobody out, mainly you. The thought that you are a thing or you are a certain way, I present for your consideration. To make the statement of, I am an introvert, would be the equivalent of saying, I'm a crawler. So when you're first born and you learn how to walk, you don't start off walking. You start off crawling. Did you not? But you don't stay a crawler. You evolve beyond crawling to walking. You may have preferred to crawl, but you're not a crawler. You may prefer to be quiet and by yourself. That doesn't make you a thing. It gives you a preference. Don't turn your preference into a prison. It's just a preference. That preference that you let turn you into, put you in a prison, will dictate how you see life and how you see others. Because if I've decided that I am a way or I am a thing, in my brain, I want common things or I want like things, similar things. I've decided that I'm an introvert. So I want to only communicate well with other introverts. And when the two of us become clan introverts and an extrovert comes into the room, I automatically create a wall, a barrier. I see the extrovert as different, as wrong. So whatever he presents starts off wrong. But if I don't see myself as an introvert, but I prefer being an introvert, but I'm a human being in community, then I bring down all these walls that slow me down. The entire time, it's your brain and your nervous system offering you information. So when you're offered the information, now you have some tools to know that it's just information. And we can't take you all the way down the rabbit hole, but I just want to give you a couple of pieces to think about. It's just data. You get to interpret the data. If you interpret the data incorrectly, you have an undesirable result. It is consistent throughout humanity. Straight through the board. Can't get around it. So, what we're not going to do is say we're going to get more than 100%, right? We're not going to do that. We got to have some quick takeaways. Don't do that again. If you did it yesterday, don't do it tomorrow. Okay? Because you're talking crazy talk. Don't talk crazy talk. Don't be a crawler. You're allowed to have a preference. Don't allow the preference to be your prison. Don't do that. Understand we have multiple bias. And all of those bias are based on information. So when you can't see a thing, or you feel like it's not going right, or you feel like it's wrong, slow down for a minute. Is it real, or is this just a bias? If I take a little pause, if I take a pause and really process it without any pride, or process it without any fear or any anxiety, I can look at like, oh, wait a minute. I don't think that's actually true. It may be a fact, but it's not true. So when you guys come together like this, some of you know each other, some of you do not, some has been a long time, but what you're walking into is something that's never been done before. You have to be safe to take away the bias. Because if not, you're going to miss it. We can all be in the same room and leave and say completely different things because we had completely different experiences. One of the most dangerous things about the moment of time that we're in right now is social media has convinced everyone that you're not supposed to fail. And it's created this fear of failing in public. I'm gonna give you a secret. Unless you are the master of the universe, the only way to progress is fail. There is no other way. If there was another way, you would do the other way. You can't learn to walk without crawling. Everything you enter into, you don't already know the answer. If you did, you'd be the master of the universe. That's the process. So this concept that you're not allowed to fail, you're not allowed to misstep, and you have to be perfect, get rid of it. It's slowly killing so many people. It's slowly killing us. Because guess what? If I don't know how to fail, I won't know what I did wrong. Now here's the catch. You can't be lazy. Now you fail, you need to identify what didn't work. Why didn't it work? And then make the adjustment. So that's what you guys are going to do here today. I might be here today, I might leave, I don't know. It all depends on if Jeff has cereal, because I like cereal. But you guys have your takeaways. I know you don't know me well. Don't focus on that. Americans would like to say things have value because I've paid for it. So for that, just for that reason, not for anything else, y'all can take this off the camera. If you came and had this time with me, it would cost you 20 grand a piece. Period. It's okay, you can Google me later. I'm here because of that man and my relationship with him. I get paid a lot of money to have this conversation with people, with companies. And we usually go a little deeper than that. But it's okay, because I love it. And I love you guys. So you have your takeaways. You don't have to believe me. It's okay. You're not going to say 100% anymore. Right? You look like you're still going to say 100%. And I think you guys are ready. I think you're primed. I think you're ready to change the world. This is what it looks like. Be in the moment. This is what it looks like. This is what they talk about later when they make the movie. This is part of the scene that they fast forward past real quick. But you guys are in the moment. You really are. I'm glad you're here. I'm honored to be a part of it. And I'll be sitting here taking random notes, observing all of you to judge you later. Appreciate you guys.
So what I wanted to start off today with is a very brief overview. If you go to page 2, this is more of a pass-fail sniff test. And I know a lot of you don't know all the bells and whistles of reverifi, but I'm going to walk through what we've spent the last 4.5 years building out. What I'm going to do is just run through very, very, very basic stuff, and you guys can take your notes or give your feedback. Yeah, there should be some more somewhere around there, other pamphlets. Reverifi, depending on your membership level, you're able to sell your ad placement to a lender, okay? So if you go to any random listing on Reverifi, that could be VIP, for example, you can sell this space right here to either your preferred lender or open it up to bidding like eBay. So let's say Amanda lists a property in Dumont for $600,000. She'll list it, open it up for bidding, and every lender that's on Reverifi will get a notification. They could bid on it, $20, $50, $100, $200 to have this premier ad placement. And then 50% of the revenue is paid back to the listing agent. So while you're not going to get rich by doing this, you're not paying to upload your listing to Reverifi. You're getting the views, you're included in the email blast, and you're putting a couple dollars in your pocket to maybe cover your gas or your tolls or something. The goal, bigger picture, obviously, is to have thousands of lenders competing for this placement and generating anywhere from $500 to $5,000 per listing, depending on how hot your listing is and your relationship with the realtor and the mortgage person. This could generate tens of thousands of dollars a year in revenue, right? So that's the bigger part of the ecosystem where like the revenue is going to be generated and dispersed back to the person helping generate that revenue. So from an agent standpoint, I don't think there's any actual residential mortgage lenders in the room, are there? I don't think so today. Shocking. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Is there a dollar amount where it makes sense that, hey, I need to make $100 in order to use Reverifi, or open up the discussion? Scott, I don't think you've tried Listen to Earn yet.
I have not, but I know Eddie. So
Yeah, it's my buddy.
So
Yeah.
Eddie's on here. That's the current listing.
Yes, correct. I think he made like $50. And Greg Morgan bought this ad for like $100 or something like that. So he made $50 just for uploading the listing.
Okay.
ballpark. But from your standpoint, what does that look like economically for it to make sense as a listing agent?
So number one, the listing has to be accurate and current,
Mm-hmm.
and the status has to change automatically, right? So if you're pushing a listing to an MLS, like Zilla's aggregating that information, or I've been caught by having one listing in three different MLSs and not having updated the status in the two ancillary.
That's a problem. Yeah, so it needs to be uniform.
Somebody's calling me, yeah, I'm looking at the listing, it's live, and they know it's under contract, or vice versa. So, I'd want to know, it's got to be one-stop shopping, so everything gets listed. Everybody always wants to be the primary database, right? So, I would assume you would like us to put our listings here.
We could do it anywhere.
And then
Yeah.
we could theoretically push it to the different MLSs.
So as of right now, we don't allow any APIs in or out. It's fully decentralized, which means like whatever you put on here, it stays here. No one can steal it. And then we also don't steal any data from any other outside sources. The only API that we use currently is the United States Postal Service to make sure the address is a legal address. But we wanted to keep it that way. So again, somebody couldn't take 200 reverifi listings and put it on their Coldwell Banker website and then steal your buyers from your listings. I've always had a big problem with that.
So I'm a single agent, so it would be more problematic for me than, let's say, Brad. Brad has admins. Brad says,
Correct.
Hey, here are the 10 different sites I want you to push our listing to. It's probably administratively easier for him to accomplish.
Completely agree. The other thing on here is you could actually feature what you're paying the buyer agent out, right? We're not restricted to any guidelines or regulations in that sense. So if your seller's paying 2% or 3% for the buyer commission, you could advertise that on here.
I don't know what the legality that is.
Are you familiar?
The state laws are what's driving it, not the MLSs or NAR.
I can text you. There's another article that came out post-August from the attorneys that won the settlement saying they're looking exactly for that. So even like we have agents that are heavy listing agents by us that are doing, email this email and we'll get back to you with any questions on the listing. And then the auto response has all of their inventory and what's being paid out. I'll send you the article so you can interpret it.
But it's state specific, correct? It's not.
This is DOJ. There's a lot of ambiguity.
I can't either. I'm not trying. Who's got it? Who's got the word?
In regards to what the settlement
Kevin's got that one.
And maybe you can share this with, if anybody hasn't read this article, it's important to read it if you're in the world of.
If you want to text me it.
Can you send it to Jeff so he can send it out to all of us?
Or you can reply to the email I sent out this morning.
I should put it on reverifi.
Oh, you could do that. There you go. Do a video on it. Dick.
But I would watch it because he's basically saying in it, we're coming around for a second round, and anybody thinks that you're getting information out in that way, even if it's a text message around what that buyer agency agreement may be, that there's going to be a second round of lawsuits as a result of it.
Yes, Steve.
One thing I want to add to this, the listener, I actually went through this. I don't know if you remember Gabe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He actually had an emergency this morning, but yeah.
So, nice win and a nice, the value that I see in this listener. So I had a listing up. Jeff reached out to one of his lenders and said, hey, I think you should put an ad on Steve's listing, which I had on Verify. I think he put an ad up for like $100, $150, something like that. One thing led to another. The lender and I formed a good working relationship, and the buyer that he thought this listing would work for ended up not paying him out, but he ended up referring to the buyer, and we closed it, and I made $50 or whatever it was from his listing. So I think $50 is great, but the bigger value piece was being able to connect with somebody and actually get a deal done and be able to continue to form a working relationship.
And that's huge, right? And that's what I think I told everybody that if you've ever dealt with me in my career, I said, I'm not going to make you rich. You're not going to make me rich. If we can make money together, but we enjoy each other along the way, that's the most rewarding thing, right? Put a couple dollars in my pocket, put a couple dollars in your pocket, bigger picture, right? It's more about being different and standing out. And it's all part of refunding the ecosystem, right? The amount of time it took me to make the introduction, assign the listener, and do everything, cost me more than $50 that reverifi made, which I had to pay out anyway, right? But it's the principle of the bigger picture, and why we're sitting here today is to figure out how to scale, how to generate $30,000 to $40,000 per day for a listener. Yes, sir, down at the end. Is your PTSD gone yet or not yet? Not yet. Doc, get on that, Doc. So that's forward looking of, let's say a realtor upload, let's say you upload your listing for a 2-family potential development site in Brooklyn, right? You would have eligibility, and this is where what you're gonna learn about a loan links comes in next. You'd be able to say this property is eligible for a complete knockdown, 4-family ground up construction, new build. See financing opportunities. And then that's where loan links would plug in and say, you have the opportunity to do ground up construction financing. Here are all of the vetted, eligible direct lenders that successfully finance ground up development in real time. You press submit, you put the credentials in, and then you would have loan offers literally sitting in your mobile device. Most people operate on their cell phone within 24 minutes, right? Like legitimately, if you put the right information in. I'm vetted. So as far as people that sign up, I don't vet anybody on here. We didn't get to that stage yet. So reverifi stands for Verified Real Estate and Finance. For a loan links, every lender that's going to be on loan links, I would have had to close millions of dollars of loans with them, and we verify their liquidity in real time. So if a lender, huh? How?
Because you recommend that person a loan officer.
I'm not recommending anybody on here.
There's a picture of it. So if I'm a real estate buyer and I see the guy's picture, I give him a call, right? And then he gives me a rate of 8% rather than in the Chase is 6%, for instance.
Then you can go to Chase. Yeah, what's up, JP?
So sometimes less is more. That's what I'm trying to say. I guess rather than having like many loan officers, maybe having like 2-3 guys that are very competitive in the market. We know that they're taking care of the client.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work economically. And this is a bigger macro. Think of this as like the big macro pond, right? And this is like a LinkedIn. So when we have the member directory, for example, and this is forward looking, and this all exists now. We just haven't done the best of job. I haven't done the best of job of putting it out there to the volume. So let's just use an example, okay? You could pick. Well, let's do this here. Use Gabe as an example, okay? He's one of the many great lenders in New York, New Jersey, all over, okay? He's a verified member, he's a VIP lender. So he's basically saying, I'm here to do business. When he closes transactions on Reverify, there will be reviews like Yelp. It will show all the transactions closed, the realtor, the buyer. Everybody can leave their feedback on what it's like dealing with Gabe. But remember, Reverify is a decentralized platform. I have no influence over Reverify. I just create the features, and it's an open community to everybody. And if somebody sucks, eventually people are going to realize somebody sucks. Loan Links, the verified financial arm of Reverify, is going to be strictly my responsibility to make sure lenders on the platform are real lenders, because everyone in the market's a lender, but they're really not a lender, right? They're using other people's money. They don't have the liquidity. They're waiting to table fund, third parties, white labels. None of that's going to exist, right? So our vetting process on the back end, we're going to implement technology to allow our technology to log into lenders' bank accounts and lines of credit in real time to see available funds. So when they put loan offers out, hey, $15 million, we have verified real-time stamped data showing they have $15 million or plus in verified funds, right? But again, this is more like the playground. We can't control what goes on or who joins. It's open for everybody. But the verified source of it, so again, if you go back to this profile, for example, this little icon here, and again, because Gabe's a friend of mine and I know he's real, and like Steve said, like he's vetted them and done tens of millions of dollars of business together, this little icon means they're verified, right? If you go back to the member directory and you see somebody that doesn't have that icon, I think I gave a bunch of people like VIPs. Rachel should be on here, I don't know why she's not. But like she doesn't have that icon, even though she should have to give her that. That's a problem, that's my mistake. But that's the whole component of it. So verified means like you're legit, you've been trusted, you've been verified. Not having that icon means like, hey, you want to do business with them, we don't necessarily approve or not approve of them.
Sorry, I don't mean to switch gears.
You can.
So like,
When we upload a listing, who's seeing it?
Everybody. And it also gets included in the email blast.
Everybody that's in the community.
So everybody that's in the community or goes to reverifi.com. So if you
How
upload
do
a,
people get to reverifi.com?
I don't track the stats of that because I don't need more headaches. I didn't need more headaches currently. But like this is somebody that's not logged in. You see all the information. You see everything.
Like personally for me, I don't necessarily like the $50 is great, but like for me, what would be of more value is getting more eyeballs or leads. So whether it's agent leads or buyer leads or whatever, I would rather see that money spent like to market that page rather than like getting it personally.
So here's where the economics come in, and you're absolutely right, right? So if you look at right here, this is like the VIP. So you get 50% off the top. Now, we've had agents, again, like, listen, I hate saying this way. Most people don't need $50 or $150 if you're selling $500,000, $1 million homes, right? Some people do. Some people are like so appreciative of like just getting a $75 instant Zelle, like, oh, I think Andrew, right? Didn't we do that once, right? What did you get, like $75, $100, something like that? But it was more of like the thought of like, oh, wow, that's different, right? Like I had Sirhan upload the condo project we're exclusively financing in the Lower East Side. You know, it was $2,500 that we sold the placement for. I sent the guy $250 and you would have thought he hit the lottery. This is like one of Sirhan's like top agents because it was like, dude, this is different. This is cool, right? So like I use it from that component of it, but here's where it is. We think the average listing, macro, should be like $400 of what the listing sells for ad placement. For the right listing, obviously, right? For the right lenders and depending on how much extra revenue they have and where we're at in the market. Most lenders are almost broke right now. They've been broke, so they don't have that to spend, especially like for a new relationship. So if you spend $400, we would then give you $200 and then take $200 and send that into the digital marketing company to digitally market that listing, right? But that's a whole process, and no one's gonna market a listing for $100, $150. So like we've tested out the model when we were dishing out leads. I think, Steve, were you part of that last year when we did leads? Anybody? Was anybody in here when we did leads last year? Well, anyway, we tested this from November 1st last year through like February 1st, and we generated like 6,000 unique leads, right? Like 2 people were actually real, like, oh yeah, like I want to buy this house. Everyone else was just like window shopping. So that's the other component of it. It was like, we want to like digitally market it the right way to generate like real action buyers for you. But that's another probably $100,000 that I would have to invest to set up that back end digital marketing scheme, right? So remember, this is all like the MVP, and that's why they're here. Like, we want to hear more feedback like this, so then they could take the economics, work out the economic model, integrate the digital marketing company to say, hey, we think we're going to have $30,000 a day for a budget to be able to properly market this, right?
Like I'm just looking at the listing that you had up. Maybe it was just that specific listing that it only had 2 views. So
No one really wants to live in Dumont, I think. That's
good. That could be
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's a hot area.
So I'm just thinking from like a lender's
Kidding.
perspective, like if he's paying $400 or whatever, and then the agent's spending the time to upload it, if you're not getting any views on it, like.
I hear you, but so here's what I would also say, right? And it's like anything else. Like homes don't sell themselves today, right? They did maybe a couple years ago. So if the agent isn't also taking all the work and including in their email blasts and sharing it on their LinkedIn and their Instagram and their Facebook, you're not going to get as many eyeballs. People are going to be like, well, who's Andrew Apple? I never heard of that guy, right? But like that's why bigger picture what we want to do is we'll have a video interview. We'll have you on the podcast. And now we're creating everything inside of our ecosystem. So everyone knows who Amanda is. They want to sell $1 million home or do a ground up construction. They have you. They see Amanda just uploaded a brand new luxury listing. Now all 800 members are going to be like, oh, I know Amanda's the real deal. Boom, and flock to it, right? But it's like a one-man show. Like I could do all the marketing and sharing through my social media channels that I can. But if people don't help themselves, it's only going to go so far. So it's like, yeah, you could upload your listing, but if that's all you're doing and you get 3 views, that's 3 more views than you would have gotten on your own. Right. And they're organic views, right? The other component is when you upload a listing to Reverify, I encourage you to check this out, you get all of for free 100% of the contacts that come in through it. We're not reselling your leads. We're not giving it to other agents. If somebody says, I want to contact Nick for this listing, they're getting it direct. So that's the other thing. We're more of like quality over quantity. You might get 3 views, but that means 3 people are serious that clicked it. Not 3,000 views.
I mean, I think it's cool. Like for me personally, I'm just thinking through it. Like I said the 30 million in off-market listings. Well, I'm not going to put them on MLS because they're pre-construction or whatnot.
Correct.
and a lot of buyers will be like New York buyers. So yeah, there's certain programs I'm in Zillow where I'm listing not off MLS, but if I could, like, I think what you've done a great job is fostering that community of New York and New Jersey buyers and having that platform where I'm able to reach maybe agents out here that have buyers looking to move into the suburbs or vice versa.
And that's the value of these rooms too, right? Like, so I'm sure like you've seen some faces here, but like the New York side of the room or the New York people that are here, like I'm sure David has 10 buyers for your $30 million of listings, right? Because David has access to thousands of people from the properties he manages, right? So like that's the bigger component of it. Like I hate technology. I've said that. Like if I could just do business in person, face to face all day, every day, I'd be happier than a pig in shit. But this is the future. And like I said, if my role is going to be decimated, eliminated, or my market share is going to be taken away by technology, I'm going to be the one to create that, right? So like that's forward looking of like bigger picture. People in New York and New Jersey, most of you guys don't even know each other. And like you're a Hudson River separating the two, right? So the more people you get around from the other side of the river, hopefully more business you could do vice versa, back and forth.
Okay, I take back what I said about the $25 or $50 because
Now she wants the
you're
$50.
Right. It is a differentiator to like build the community. So the more you can build the community, like the bigger the community, the better it'll be for everyone.
And then you use that $50 to buy somebody lunch. Like, oh, Ben, Hector. Like, but again, it's just bigger picture of like, most platforms you have to pay to list on.
Right.
I eat that cost every month for the data and the storage, and you get paid to list on reverifi, right? So it's like, oh, that sounds different. Let me try that out. That's the bigger portion of it. And again, look, I hope somebody sells a listing for $5,000 and I send you a $25,000 Zelle instantly. Like, that's what we want to have happen, but it's about, like we spoke about, people adapting to the future of what's never been done before. But no other platform in America pays you to list properties on it, right? So like that was the forward vision of it. But yes, I love the feedback. Anybody else? Feedback? Ladies first, Carson. Apologize. You're married, you know that.
I see two components with reverifi. I think that, we're thinking about, there's two, I was thinking, which you guys already said. One is getting more eyes to your listings, because everybody's used to Zillow and Trulia and Facebook, but if you have another resource to get more eyes in your listing, that's great. But the other thing is relationship building, what you were saying. You have, the New Jersey, the New York agents. I know a few people here. I don't know others that are here. So
she's representing the Bronx and Westchester for everyone that's not.
It's just building relationships, because it's just like in any networking event, you're meeting new people that may have the buyers or the sellers or another resource for you.
That was 1 and 2.
Yes. That one, getting more eyes on the listing, and the other one is relationship building.
Love it. Do you agree with that? You agree with that? Mm-hmm. Sir?
Yeah. For the leads that you gave away, I would say those numbers are pretty dead on in terms of conversion, because I think Zillow 1 year was talking about, we have 12 million unique visitors, and there's 1 million sides in the entire country.
Right.
So like, there's going to be the voyeurism stage of a buyer is long and hard to determine and pin down. So I think that's probably the way it's just going to be. In terms of how to scale and get more eyeballs, you've already built sort of the listing functionality. I'm seeing a lot based off the way the market is and the way I think it's going to continue to be of off-market stuff.
I agree.
And so if there was a functionality to put stuff off-market or cross streets or whatever, or however much information someone's willing to share about a listing.
The only problem I have with that, I'll tell you transparently, like, Hector, close your ears. I hate the concept of wholesaling. One, because it takes listings away from realtors. We could all agree on that. And two, 9 out of 10 times you're fucking over the seller. That's probably uneducated, inadequate. I'm like, well, if my 70-year-old mother got scammed, I'd have to kill somebody. That's just me, right? Yeah. And that's real, right? Like, hey, Betsy doesn't know her house is worth $600. Someone comes in and says, I'll give you $525 for it. Betsy needs the extra $75,000, but now someone's wholesaling it. They're not a realtor. Realtor loses listing. Homeowner gets fucked over. Like, those are morals, right?
I would say.
My problem with that, let me finish. My problem with that, Carson, is that prevents people from being honest and transparent. While like reverifi's core model is being a transparent transaction platform. So I agree with you. So maybe there's some hurdles or barriers we put in to get full access to that off-market listing. right? Or some type of like confidentiality agreement that they're acknowledging and signing, maybe putting whatever, $1,000, I'm giving an example, right? A $1,000 hurdle where, hey, if you want access to this off-market listing, you're kicking in $1,000. If you go around us, like you're gonna get sued, there's gonna be other ramifications. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe, but also I would say, I've tried to, as an investor, buy a lot of stuff under market for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the average individual, because of how much data is out there, is way more informed and sophisticated than not. And so the chances of that person being, losing money, I think is low. And I don't think it's much different than like having them involved with a bad real estate agent too.
Ben?
To that, I can kind of see a solution within the product itself. I do agree with you. I've wholesaled in the past, and I'm always big on telling the sellers right up front. I'm like, you do realize you can get more money if you list it, right? And 9 out of 10 times, they'll be like, I know, I just don't want to deal with them. I'm like, okay, well, now we can talk, right? I don't want you to feel like I'm taking advantage of you or anything like that, because I will make money on this. This is my job. But I guess what I was trying to say, the solution is in the product, where if, let's say you want to list on a verified off-market property, I have another outlet, Loan Likes, double close. Come to me, I'll help you close it. You can own the property, then you can list it on there as whatever and make your spread. And if you're doing a good enough job as a wholesaler, the spread to double to double close should already exist within the product itself. To me, I think that's a solution, and that would remove a lot of, ambiguity. I said the word right. Around, right? Thank
Show up.
Thank you. I wore a suit today. So around the fact that, whether or not the transaction is legal or it's not legal, or if you're taking advantage of somebody or not, and that embraces the whole concept of being completely transparent from day one. So
I would say separate and apart from that, just to finish, is on the buy side, if I could go in there and find out what somebody's buy box is, or if what I have is in somebody else's buy box, or these 10 people or these 12 people, that's hugely valuable to me.
So you're saying you upload, I'm giving an example, an off-market listing for a 2-family that could be a knockdown, ground-up 4-unit, and we have 100 people that are developers, contractors.
Search for that, whatever.
And then you basically upload that and they automatically get sent it. Something along those lines.
Yeah, or I give you $50 and you give me those names and phone numbers.
I'll give it to you for free. What do you know? Fuck, I give everybody free
fuck
shit.
that,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's got
brick and mortar shopping mall, right? Everybody wants to be the destination. Everybody wants to be either you're the anchor because you're so big and you've attracted all these satellite stores, or you're the satellite store and you've become so big you open up your own mall and you charge rent to everybody. And that's kind of what I see this model as. I think you've got an advantage of not having to comply with RESPA as of yet, because you're not a licensed real estate agent.
Or nothing.
And you're not a licensed mortgage broker.
Which would never be either of those.
They
I
both
assure you that.
have to comply with these laws.
Right.
But the goal, I would think, for you is you want to be the destination, right?
A destination, an option, yeah. A trusted option.
But you want to be the destination for everybody to go to first to find real estate, to find a lender, maybe to find a title company, maybe to find an appraiser. And I'm not going to say it's a trick. It's not a trick. It's a skill. Right? So you got to figure out.
Well, it starts with the community here, right? Like we take care of Scott. Scott brings 5 people. Those 5 people bring 5 people. Now we got 30 people. Like, oh, you did. You know what? It all stemmed from Scott.
And if people know, hey, you've got $30 million worth of off-market deals.
And no one else has access to.
You've got commercial properties over here. You definitely have to be a value add to become that destination. And people are willing to pay to advertise to be on your destination, right?
Totally. Anybody? Yeah.
Jeff, one thing that, because I am in this residential mortgarges.
Oh my God! Yeah, but I think more of you than that.
Yeah,
He's crawling still, Doc. He's crawling.
It's not a real active part of my life, but I know the owner of the CEO of our company has been really preaching a lot that the traditional way of a lender to get business is the realtor. That you do kind of dependent on that realtor feeding your leads. He's been investing a lot of in technology to try to get ahead of that
So he sees that the future that maybe the lender can actually have the client first and then bring it to the realtor. But then a lot of AI like this.
Isn't that what Mello was? A Loan Depot? It wasn't Mello home loans? Like that was their whole model, wasn't there? Or Quicken.
Well, no, that's just he just said it's just going to be a result
It was,
of it,
right?
is that, you know, like with using the artificial intelligence, you know, social media, somebody's, you know, wedding announcements, all these different things that are out there. The AI goes out and says, hey, this person might be ready to buy in 6 months. So start, you know, trying to get to that person. So, you know, like you said, you know, those 3 views might be really 3 great views,
right?
Because the back end has done all the sifting and sorting, you know. So I think that's, you know, kind of you're right on, because I think that's where the industry's going. I know, you know, LOs, you know, they're always, you know, I remember when I first started, you know, it's only $1,500 for leads. Well, that's just one loan, you know, but that loan is got to kind of multiplied all the time. You're paying for it out of your pocket. So I just think that relationship of the lender and the realtor is going to change, and people are going to try to get ahead of that, so that the clients come to the lender.
So
first.
if you were actually trying to originate more loans and grow your business, like what would you, like for Amanda who does, what do you do a year in business? 30 million, 50 million, 100 million, 50 million? Like what would you pay to have an introduction to Amanda if she uploads a listing on reverifi?
Well, really,
300, 400, 800?
Yeah, and then more if it works.
If
right?
it materializes.
Yes, if it works, then yeah. I mean, I know a lot of them, they're very, very greedy.
But what is that number for Kevin with your experience in life? If you were trying to grow your business to be around the top producer.
For one lead?
Not a lead, for
You're
having
like bidding to get noticed.
Correct. Yeah, because everyone knows Amanda. She's top dog, right?
Right.
For you to be featured, who no one in New Jersey.
But I don't know if I can put a dollar. Maybe we work a lot.
But what I'm saying is, would you spend $3,000?
Oh,
Would you
yeah,
spend $2,000?
I mean, I know people that would. Yeah, exactly.
Does $2,000 wet your beak for a listing?
Depends on the, you know, obviously, it's not just that individual one listing.
It's more for the intro. It's more for like the warm, hey, congratulations.
Do 5 in a row. It's
correct.
Yeah, right.
You put $5,000 in someone's pocket, you're gonna be noticed. My opinion.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Well, so I've always said with the mortgage game that everybody wants listings. So when you crack that code using, you know, data sources, everything that you're talking about, and things that like we play around with on the back end, I can go to, you know, Sue Adler's a big name in our direct market. I can give Sue Adler like 8 listings in a row, and eventually she's gonna be like, let's go get lunch, what are you doing? You can't ignore, you're just giving, and again, I'm competition in the same market, but if I'm coming at it from like the mortgage side, then you're gonna win the business over. It's just
Mark?
you give, and then eventually you're gonna get it, and listings are the name of the game right
Mark?
Just going back to your original thoughts and reverifi, you know, it's really kind of centered on the community. You know, I don't think that necessarily you want to get into the tech space and compete with Zillow and stuff like that, which is, you know, consumer oriented. I think the strength of reverifi can be really, you know, within the community and the people around the table here and the other people, you know, who are reverifi members trying to do business and push business to each other. I sit here, you know, these guys are here on the Jersey Shore. Now I'm thinking, you know, anytime I got an opportunity, you know, so I mean, there is a referral platform within the reverifi site. So, you know, I think, you know, create, you know, or rewarding or, you know, better, whether it be monetarily or just, you know, rewarding strong members within the community, you know, I really think so. This is a professional community, and the reverifi site is a professional platform for people within, you know, that community to kind of interact amongst each other. So I don't think, you know, trying to get out to eyes, you know, man, to say I love tons of, you know, eyes on a listing, you know, is really the strength. I think the eyes can be through, you know, the strength of the people that everybody sitting here has got their own spheres of influence. So, you know, definitely, I think that's really what I always like about it. Or I come to you and say, hey, listen, who should I go to for this? So
You make a good point. So we're gonna skip the next 2 and go down to like the level up referrals. So I always say like, every relationship, whether it's personal or business, should be as close to 50-50 as possible. Like sometimes maybe I referred David 5 people in a row, and he has referred none in the meanwhile, and then he refers me 5. But at the end of the day, you want to be as close to 50 as possible, because that's how like relationships flourish. Otherwise, it's like, well, I sent you 10 deals, you sent me none. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, you did your job, but like, why are you not supporting me as well? So this is the referral portion of it where we call it the level up because you have to like actually level up with somebody. You can see all the names of referrals that you've received through reverifi, and then also all the people that you refer. As you can see, I've sent a bunch of people referrals.
People should really kind of try to work more on that platform and try to make some good strategic introductions to other people. I mean, I met Joe Rodriguez, who's
That's
on
right.
there today, 3 years ago. For me, he's always going to be my Staten Island go-to guy, you know, because, you know, you introduced him, he's verified personally through him, not just, you know, verified numbers-wise, you know, so really kind of everybody here, I give, you know, a sense of credibility to, because, you know, you know, or other people within the group, and said, hey, listen, this is a great guy, you know, where.
And that's how easy it is, right? So like if you're a reverifi member, you can literally refer somebody to somebody in real time and like put a note on here, right? Be like, all right, here's the deal, like connect, Amanda needs to sell her home, right? Done. But the whole point of that is it's like super easy. You send it and you should get a text message like you just received a new referral from reverifi. So rather than me calling you, giving you the rundown, like, hey, Mark, I have this attorney who needs somebody who does title insurance. Boom, send it. I don't have to talk to Mark, text Mark, he gets it. And now I can go in here and be like, oh, wow, what did I do? Oh, look, I referred Brett to Amanda, right?
Years ago, I actually paid $10,000 to some guy who had refer.com because I thought it was a good idea.
How come you send it to reverifi?
What? This is way before I knew.
It should be 100 now with
you know,
inflation.
but before reverifi was born. But you know, and just because it made it easy to refer, introduce people, you know. So to me, I think there's, you know, we should definitely try to work that piece of the platform, and that can result in real dollars, not just, you know, 50, 100. If there's a, you know, if you're an agent to an agent and there's a 25% referral fee, or if you're licensed or whatnot. That's what I'd love to see everybody here really kind of, you know, doing more of, is trying to strengthen the community.
And
I've
then-
always met great people here, you know.
And one thing we want to do is take like the dollar economic contribution out of it, where you're able to convert points into rewards, right? Whether it's like merchandise or like a free appraisal, right? Stuff that by using the platform you get rewarded for. Like every time you log in, you get points. And one thing we're going to work on is actually gamifying it for productivity. Like you shouldn't be rewarded just to log in. Everyone's like, oh, 30-day login streak, right? Like it's more about the routine and the habit of coming back to reverifi. Like, well, what's going to bring you back to reverifi? Is it opportunities? Is it events? You know, what does that look like? So that's what we're really trying to perfect. And everyone has different wants and needs. Like some people may not want to leave their house. Some people may only want to be on Zoom. We have people from all over the country, Arizona and Tennessee specifically, that are like, oh, we'd love to come today, but we can't fly out for a day. Like in a perfect world, we would be set up where people who want to attend everything that we do here physically can be on a Zoom, right? Like still feel like they're here. But look, it's hard to please everybody. What we're really trying to get to is like the foundation of what's going to keep people locally more engaged, right? So like the points, the gamification is great. But as far as like rewards go, like maybe rather than spending $100 to attend an event, if you have 1,000 points, you can redeem those 1,000 points for $100, right, in order to attend the event. So while it's dollar focused and driven, that's how businesses run and operate, we want our community members not have to go into their pocket, right, in order to attend or have access.
The only thing I just thought of, could this be, because you know now, like with software and AI and all those different systems you have to sign up for, anytime you go out there, you use something to track your own leads, right? Costs, right? Like CRM and whatnot. And I can see reverifi being like a link source, right? So if you have a listing, you go out there and you post it on Facebook, you post it on LinkedIn, you post it on all these sites. Anytime any potential prospect clicks on it from your own marketing effort, they now become like, you know, listen to you, right? These leads belong to you. They're not going anywhere else, not being sold by anyone else. But that's a good way for me, I would think, as a realtor to track my own activities, right? If I'm sending out, oh, check my listing out, right? Instead of saying check my listing out on Zillow, they click on Zillow, they'll get every other potential listings from Zillow.
And now they're completely down the rabbit hole.
Correct. Versus if you do it with Coldwell Banker, same thing. If you do it with KW, it's the same thing, right? They even though you're marketing for them, your own property, they're using that data, using that person. Now that data belongs to them, right? The minute they leave the system, they belong to them. But now the way I can see reverifi being beneficial is they stay on reverifi, they come on reverifi, they may find other listings similar to what they're looking for, but they belong to reverifi. They're not going anywhere else, and thus belong to you, right? Because you're not reselling that data anywhere else. And I can see that could be a big huge benefit for potential realtors, especially the world we're heading into, where data is everything. Data is monetary, so it can be monetized pretty easily. And I can see how this being a way for you to protect your own system and it not costing you a lot, especially being a new agent starting out and not having a lot of resources to pay for the software that protects you.
That's all we got. Anybody else before we move on? Thoughts? No? So what we're going to do is explain briefly what LoanLinks is, where it was originated from, and then we're going to get into a little chat between Daniel and myself. What I realized, and it's a blessing and a curse, like 5 years ago, I was wondering why my phone wasn't ringing when I stopped doing residential mortgages, and now here I am 5 years later, my phone doesn't stop ringing, right? Blessed, but also like, I can't get to everybody. It's a good problem to have, and I was like, well, how do I automate myself, right? Because the future of everything is usually going to be digital, and how do we create something that allows agents to actually be in the middle of financing and not have to refer financing? That was the whole component of LoanLinks. Like, how do we create everybody to become a financial alternative finance broker, earn or have the ability to earn with verified trusted capital sources? And that's when we had been introduced to Daniel. So a couple things. Obviously, Ben, you know this better than everybody. Everybody shops. So on LoanLinks, for example, let's say Daniel's my client and I'm the broker, and I registered Daniel as my client in LoanLinks. His email is automatically belonging to me. So if any other broker tried to bring Daniel to the platform, I'd get alerted, hey, Daniel's working with another broker on LoanLinks. And at that point, you obviously call your client like, what are we doing here? We have access to all the same information. So this is a way for people not only to add more value as a real estate broker or a loan broker, but also to protect your clients as your assets, where you're knowing first if they're being shopped, obviously, to our platform. The other thing about it, like I said earlier, is it allows people to be a loan broker with no license to earn and to control the financing for your deals, mostly larger deals. This is not Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA. This is all the non-qualified mortgage, bridge financing, institutional financing, hard money, right? Everything that you don't need a license for, and anyone can be it. So you don't need to know anything. You don't need to go to a class. All you do is we made it so simple where you fill in the required fields or the majority of the required fields, register your client, and now you have the ability to earn. And then the next level is going to be commercial financing. But again, right now, this is all the non-qualified alternative financing space, right? So even if you have a listing or if you have that 2-unit, right, knockdown, ground-up development, and you're like, I don't know anybody that does this, right? Rather than having to call a human to find out who does it, you sign up, you go, you submit the inquiry, and in real time, it would give you access to everybody that's financing and also their resume of their last 6 months of funded deals. Because everyone's like, yeah, I did this deal. It's like, yeah, you closed that deal in 2018. Right? Like, who's actively funding deals in today's real-time landscape?
How many lenders on the platform?
We're starting off between 5 and 8 because there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be human friction. We want to start it off with people that we're actively funding $10, $20, $30 million annually with that I personally can call up and be like, dude, you're fucking up. Right? We need to have everyone have a good experience. Now, the problem we're going to have...
And it's not traditional lenders. It's
all non-traditional.
Financing,
all non-traditional. But like Goldman, JP Morgan will be on here, but for institutional bridge. They're not going to be on here for like, hey, I need a $500,000 ground-up construction loan.
My next question. Minimums and ceilings.
There's going to be no minimum, but there's going to be different buckets. So it's probably going to be 25 million below, and then like Goldman and JP Morgan are going to be the 25 million and above to start. But again, that's something that's going to evolve based on deal flow. The majority of the action is sub $1 million right now. And then the 1 to 10 million is like a close second.
And then markets.
Oh, it'll be national, day one. Yeah, so we want to open up with all 50 states. Yeah. And again, because there's no license, some states have restrictions, like I think Nevada, Arizona, there's certainly brick and mortar requirements, California. But California, as long as we have licensed lenders in California that are actually licensed, then they'll be on here day one. So, what I've done over the past 7 years is trying to find every capital outlet for every capital ask in every state, right? Again, Alaska, probably not, but like Hector just sent over like a $250 million Hawaii deal. So like we get the action, but then the hardest part about this business right now is actually finding viable capital sources to fund different asset classes in different demographics. But also forward looking, we're gonna have the ability to forecast like where we see holes in the market and pockets that are overinflated. Like if we see 500 loan requests in Texas for bridge financing, like it'd be like, what the hell's going on in Texas right now? If banks aren't lending there, we could actually spot trends first and foremost to the market. So from our standpoint, it's also a data play to make calculated bets and risks on future market conditions. Any questions on that so far? No?
I could see that being valuable for like investors looking to get hard money on their different deals and who's giving different terms and whatnot.
That's exactly right? So like right now today, like, and I know usually where deals are gonna be funded day one, but people call me and I'll hit my top 3 lenders like, hey, here's the deal, here's the bucket, where are you gonna be at? Or hey, I know this person needs to roll in payments. I know this person only has 15% down. Hey, I know this person has a 600 credit score. If you have like a 600 credit score right now, it's nearly impossible to get attractive bridge financing, right? That's why Max and I work so closely together, because Max is actually a partner in Loan Links and an investor, because this is what we do on a day-to-day basis. But it's like, somebody called me up earlier. He's like, I have $20,000, $75,000 loans. I'm like, that sounds like a nightmare. He's like, what do you mean? It's 1.5 million in business. I'm like, yeah, my average loan size is 2 million. You want me to work 12 times harder, right, to close deals where you're not going to be happy either way? Like, in the future, hey, go to Loan Links, see what lender wants a $75,000 loan by 12, and you price it out right there, rather than me spending 24 hours and 12 sets of paperwork and documents and portal uploads. Like, everything's broken and fragmented. That's what I want you guys to all realize, right? Like, a lender sent me 12 documents I had to print out, physically fill out, and sign, and I'm like, dude, we need to digitize this. I'll even pay for this. I'm gonna be sending this one lender that we're doing business with does foreclosure bailouts, and they're like old school, chop shop, like the scum of the earth, but they do foreclosure bailouts. Like, what do you expect, right? But if I could automate their process and then take that automation and bring it to Loan Links, we can close $30 million a month in Loan Links just for foreclosure bailouts nationally. See what I'm saying? So like,
It's like that's you in a website.
this is me automating.
I do this to you all the time.
Correct.
And it just.
It's exactly what it is.
Perfect.
So bigger picture, it's like, I'm going to be selective on what deals and relationships I'm going to take deals from. And if it's easier, more cost efficient, or fluid to send somebody to Loan Links, not only do you get better pricing, you don't pay additional broker points or fees, and now you have direct access. Now you're going to keep coming back because you're going to keep pricing your scenario out. We're in a financing world right now where cost is everything. In the past, it used to be who has the money, who can close quickest. Right now, because the market's tightened, right? Commercial real estate's adjusted. People don't have as much money, macro, right? Real estate investors, that an extra point on a deal is the difference between them doing a deal or not. So if I can get you 10% direct or 11% through an alternative source, 9 out of 10 times you're going to go 10%. So if we can streamline that and be the seamless or the Uber of that, that's what I think the future of alternative financing is. One thing I'll also give you, I will present for your consideration. Right now in the alternative financing market, we're 7 years in. So if you date that back to the mortgage-backed security in 1980 or 81, it's like 1988 all over again for alternative financing. So we're still in the infancy stages of what alternative financing, hard money, institutional bridge financing, non-QM looks like. So like, I don't know if any of you have 7-year-old kids, but it's like having a 7-year-old kid where we have the whole world ahead of us in order to take over this market share. And loosely, we think we could target a $25 billion industry year one. This is a $25 billion industry that's projected to grow 2 to 4 times in the next 3 years. So you could disrupt a $1 billion industry, you're lucky. A $25 billion industry where if we combine all of our business in this room right here, I guarantee if you collectively put all the business here, we probably do over $1 billion a year in business just in this room right here alone. So again, value add, use it to different components, see who's lending. And that brings us to the next component of where we think is going to be a 2027 and 2029 play, which is going to be the note exchange. So we're going to originate, broker all this debt, and then the same lenders that we deal with, when loans go bad, loans default, people stop paying, they're going to give us their defaulted debt back. So if you see what we've done, we've created an internal ecosystem where regardless of what your role is in the market, you could figure out a way to earn. And these are all off-market notes. These are not public. No one else has access to these. These are our relationships with our banks and lenders, credit unions, private debt funds, REITs that say, hey, if you can get us $1.4 million for this 1.69 debt, go ahead and take it. So we're giving high net worth individuals and funds access to repurchase debt or buy debt at a discount to do workouts, right? This is going to be the leading profit generator from 2027 to 2029. And it's already started, but very low scale. You're starting to hear NPLs. You're starting to hear $1 billion note transactions. I said this 24 months ago. I think Alfie did the first note exchange video, I think, last summer, right? Like, we've been saying this, and everyone's been telling me I'm wrong, and now everyone's like, 40, commercial real estate's down 40%. I'm like, dude, I told you that 24 months ago. You just didn't want to hear it, right? Now that we're in the crux of it, and banks have so much toxic debt, they're going to spend the next 60 months unloading all of it. So if you're not even aware of this and you have investors that you're working with and you're bringing them these opportunities, you're totally crazy. So this is like the eBay of defaulted debt. So that's how the whole ecosystem works. And that's what, again, we're focused on, is bringing all the opportunities together under one umbrella, which is reverifi. And regardless of what your role is, again, in the industry, everybody should be looking for opportunity. We're here to create opportunity and help everyone create a living for themselves on top of what you guys are doing on your own. And again, like Mark Lawrence, represents a private equity fund that buys land and sells it out to big home builders. What do you guys return annually? 16 to 18% ish?
14.63 in the main infrastructure fund.
Right, so like that's the bigger picture of like, I've known Mark for over a decade. We started doing business 4 years ago. Mark has an opportunity. He wants to set a Zoom up. We set a Zoom up. We have 200 people attend. Maybe you throw 10 grand in. Maybe you throw 50 grand in. Maybe your mother, your father, your client has a 1031 exchange. You don't know what to do, but you heard of Mark Lawrence and obviously a double-digit return. So like that's the whole thing, is being familiar and getting in front of the bigger picture and seeing how we could all make money together.
The dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call